If you guys are not familiar with the football player Greg Hardy that plays on the Dallas Cowboys, he kind of has like a checkered type of past when it comes to being overly aggressive or overly hostile when he gets upset with certain things. And there's things that have came out with incidents between him and his, I believe, his girlfriend, and domestic violence and everything. And a lot of people gave Greg Hardy the benefit of doubt because just like people are naturally in society, when you don't see visible proof or pictures or anything like that hasn't came out, people, I would say, tend to be a little bit more, I would say, thoughtful about the overall situation. And actually, that's when you get more of a legitimate response when it comes to domestic abuse or someone just defending themselves. But some pictures came out of I believe it's I don't know if it's his ex girlfriend or ex wife or whatever, but some pictures came out of some physical bruises that happened apparently and allegedly that Greg Hardy had done to her. I think she had some bruises on the bottom of her neck and maybe on the side of her face. And now you got a lot of these characters coming out here, and then one of the characters is Stephen A. Smith, which I'm not surprised because anytime we have an incident like this, whether a black man had to defend himself or he got into an altercation and lost his head, no matter which way the boat is rocking, they always get their henchmen, the buck dancing coons like Stephen A. Smith or Charles Barkley, and I can go down the line to come out and attack black men. Now, I don't condone a man hitting on a woman or a woman hitting on a man. I think everybody needs to keep their hands to themselves. If you are not physically being attacked, or you don't feel like your life is in danger, you shouldn't be putting your hands on anybody. And that comes from both sides of the fences. But I think in society, we give women more the benefit of doubt when they put their hands on men opposed to a man putting his hands on a woman. And, I saw Stephen A. Smith this morning. He came out saying, Greg Hardy needs to be released from the NFL and et cetera, et cetera. And you got people within the NFL organization that's came out and said it's a possibility that he can be released from the NFL. Now, I believe his contract, he's on a contract where I forgot the technical name of it, but it's where he's basically hired from game to game. And that's why you might see, if you guys watch football, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't really like the Dallas Cowboys, but that's another story. But if you guys watch him, he's very aggressive. The guy does his job on the field, but he's paid on a game-to-game basis. So at any given time, they can say, you know what, we don't want you on the team. You're on a game-to-game basis, and that's why I think that guy goes out there and busts his ass in every single game, because literally his finances depend on it. So he has that type of contract, so it's easy for the Dallas Cowboys to simply say, you know what, we don't want this controversy, we don't want this coming our way. We don't want all the the sponsors asking us questions or jeopardize our sponsors, and they can simply just let them go. But the bone I have to pick is not only with certain black men and just people in general jumping overboard or jumping to conclusions about what specifically happened just because somebody comes out and shows you pictures of them being bruised up, which we don't know if that was him defending himself. We don't know if she did that to herself, because believe it or not, we have women out who will physically harm themselves just to get another man in trouble because they're vindictive or they're angry at the fact that that man does not want to deal with them anymore. We do have those situations. Or if he actually hit this woman. But you got people coming out, jumping to conclusions, coming down on this man. And I see a different reaction when it comes to black ball players opposed to white ball players. Now, to remind everybody, remember we had Richie Incognito came out, was saying the word nigga, and then you get that other character that was bullying that black ball player, he's a football player, and you had cats like Stephen A. Smith come out and say, oh well, he's a 300-pound lineman, he shouldn't be getting upset or getting emotional at the fact that he was bullied or someone said something derogatory to it. In other words, because of this man's size, because he plays football, he shouldn't feel some type of way about a hostile work environment. And this is the idiotic statements that we have some of these sports analysts and people within the media make. And it was a total different reaction. There's people coming out basically coming down on the brother for saying, yo, this is a hostile environment. I'm getting bullied. You know, I had people saying that a white man is more black than myself because I don't play into what you would call so-called stereotypes of what a black man is supposed to be. You had people come down on him for being upset about or having an issue with a hostile work environment. But see, when we have incidents like the Greg Hardy joint or the Ray Rice incident that happened, what was that last year, or any other Michael Vick, or any other situation where black ball players have found themselves in some type of trouble, guilty or not, it's let's throw bricks at them, let's throw all the nails we got at them, let's take their money away, let's take their profession away. It's this extra assertiveness to destroy these men. And I think it's complete bullshit. But, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. You guys give me your feedback on what you think about this. I'm out. And I want to add one more thing. We're in the holiday season. You got a lot of these sponsors looking for people to broadcast their products and brand and et cetera, et cetera. This is the time where us as black folks, if we have an issue with things, whether it's from our respect, whether it's us not being treated right, whether it's blatant racism that we see displayed in front of us, this is the time where we use those sponsors, those advertisers that advertise on ESPN, Fox, BET, all these different networks. This is the time where we write in and we say, you know what, we're not going to support your brands if you advertise it on these certain networks. That's how you get these motherfuckers back. You don't get these cats by coming out here and holding up signs and marching down the street. That tactic is old. That's we got to get beyond that. How you get these cats now is you get them in their pocket. And that's how we're going to push back and fight a lot of this bullshit that's out here. We got to go after the sponsors that advertise on these shows. Because when the sponsors are affected on these networks, the networks are going to get in line. But that's all I got to say.